To take the radio off, since we're going to be checking everything out, this one just pops off. The only thing that you will need is one of these in a 7mm socket. This just pops off, so you can see clips, and just same goes to the other side, nothing but clips. This one is just held with the two tabs. Also, these two pieces are clips as well, and once you pop the clips, just slide it towards you. See this little notch? It goes in right here, so just kind of slide it. Same go to the other side, pop it off, clips, slide it. You'll find two 7mm right here. I already loosened everything out. One, two. Same goes with this trim right here. Pops off. Just kind of loosen it. You do have to have it on ignition on this one. Put on drive. That way you have more room. As far as the radio, slowly pop it off, nothing but clips. Same goes on the bottom. Kind of wiggle it around. Nothing else is holding it other than those two 7mm. And that's pretty much off. Now once you get this thing moved a little bit to the left, let's see if I can do this one with one hand. Not, I'm gonna have to drop the phone and then take it off and show you. So here's what we're working with. I just took the front face off. It's pretty easy. So I had it running and I've noticed the fan wasn't kicking on. So after about 30 minutes or so to an hour, I do feel the radio casing getting hotter. So I went ahead and turned that off. I also noticed, as you can see, some of these are kind of just laying on ground. You don't want any of these RCAs kind of touching, and this wire right here was kind of sitting on top. Again, try to tape everything up, make sure nothing's touching what they shouldn't be touching. Like all of these should be taped up just for extra precaution. Also, I'm gonna kind of dig around a little bit and see what's going on behind here. Obviously there's so many damn wires, but hopefully nothing too serious about this one. Hopefully the radio didn't burn up, because I don't feel the fan kicking on, and generally that's a pretty bad sign. So I'll do a little bit digging and see what we find, and I'll let you know what I find. First things first, just to kind of show you what we're working with as far as the amp installation. Apparently this was done by a shop. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but here's everything just kind of laid. Ground wire over there. I went ahead and took the fuse out just for safety purposes. Everything seems to be mounted kind of right, but not sure why not just shorten all the wires. You can see everything is so long going all the way over there. I'll go ahead and take the radio off and see what's going on with the radio, because nothing's hooked up right now, and the customer stated that the radio is overheating while in use for about an hour. So I'll go ahead and start on that and start taking apart the radio and see what we find. Since the customer decided that it's just better to excuse me, replace the radio with a Sony, it's a lot less cluttered, it's a lot less wire, and a lot more simpler. So I'm going to start taking everything off and get everything prepped. I'm going to have to take the mic off, all the USB, all the plugs, which it's kind of a little bit of a mess right now. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll move on to the next step. So far, here we are. I just took off the screen itself. I'm going to slowly take everything off and kind of make marks. That way I don't get confused on what things go where. It'll just save me more of a headache later down the line, but this is what it looks like so far. So I'll go ahead and start cleaning everything up, and then we'll move on to the next step. Here's the harness. Everything is out. I kind of marked it and cleaned it up a little bit. Here's the new radio that I'll be installing. It's the XAV-XA3250 Sony. So that's gonna look nice in there. My soldering iron stopped working, so as much as I don't want to do it, I'm gonna have to use crimp connectors. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it as long as it's crimped properly, which my crimper does well. But I don't really want to wait forever for crimp connect or for the solder to get here for warranty, so I'm gonna have to do what I need to do and get everything moving. So I'm gonna go ahead and strip everything out, get it all prepped, and connect it all together. So just to show some progress, here I am. I'm gonna be removing the old RCA and the remote line, just running a new one. Skyhigh car audio, normal remote line. I did find out how they wired the rear view camera power and ground. They had the remote wire continuously on power, or the reverse trigger for the camera itself is on constant power. So I rewired that, and it's actually going with the reverse camera output, so it's only getting power whenever you put it on reverse. I know you're gonna see a lot of wires, but like I said, this is just the progress. I had to clean everything up just because there's so many wires. Run the USB, get all this thing situated, and clean everything up and start putting everything back together. So I got everything kind of ran. Mic already placed where it should be. I did have to run a new RCA from front to back. Skyhigh, of course. Since this only has one sub output, you will need a male to 2 females. That way you can have 2 signals. So I'll go ahead and do that. Plug it in. So now you have the output for the sub RCA. So I got everything kind of wired up. Yes, there is a lot of wires, but I try to make it as neat as I could get it to be. It's a lot less free up there, a lot more room down here. By the way, all this dirt was from the previous installer. Not cleaning up his stuff. It's not for me. So I left the bagget or the plastic in there just to kind of protect it from getting scratched. All the wires are kind of going through underneath. USB right here. So I'm gonna do a little bit more cleaning, and once I'm done, I'll put back the dash and start putting everything back together. Kind of got everything wired up. USB plugged in, showing the GPS. That's pretty cool. We are moving on behind the trunk. Sorry about that noise. Planes fly here all day. But anyway, I still need to pull the old RCAs. I need to clean up all these power wire stuff. Here is the new RCA and new remote wire that I'm using. I'm going to relocate this poorly installed or mounted ground cable. It's not even sanded where the surface is. So I'm going to be using that bolt, sanding it down, and then mounting it there. I'm also going to shorten all the wires, so just to kind of give you a quick glimpse. Unfortunately, I can't hook up the amp and sub due to the fact that there was issues on it. I believe the sub is blown, but I went ahead and rewired everything. As you can see, everything is nice and loomed. I did tape everything up, power, wire. I did run out of remote wire in blue, so had to use a yellow. RCA's taped up just in case. But yeah, this is the wiring now, and that's all you're gonna see. So I figured out what the issue is with the sub. About 12 o'clock in the morning last night, I was messing with it just to kind of try to figure out what's going on with it. And I did pull out one of the subs, and the terminal was so loose that it was throwing off the ohms. It's supposed to be running on 2 ohms, and every time I take it off, it jumps around, or whenever I touch that terminal, it jumps around on ohm reading. So I got everything resoldered back, and what do you know, that was all the issue that it was giving me. Everything's working now, the sub is working fine, so I'm sure the customer is going to be happy. That's all that matters. Forgot to mention that I also fixed the wiring for the rear backup camera. Somehow whoever installed it has 2 different power leads that's feeding the camera and the trigger signals. So I got it all fixed now, and you can see everything works like it should. Do it once the first time, no issues after that.